I mean, there's like 15 Reapers that are dying every single game for nothing. That's 750, 750, and that much gas is so much money. I mean, that's upgrades, tanks, Ravens, tech structures that you're just throwing out the window, and we can clearly see the effects of that later in the game without any pressure. DIMAGA can just take the lead easily. Yeah,
if we go back to the first game of the series, when he moved into the mineral line of DIMAGA, he lost about 6 Reapers for nothing. He took down 1 or 2 drones, but taking that army down is crucial for DIMAGA. It puts him so far ahead. And then again, this game, we see Tarson move in with about 12 Reapers, it was, on so far in the creep. And then DIMAGA just takes it down like nothing.
Yeah,
and because of that, that's why Reapers are so effective earlier on as well, because the creep isn't around to actually defend on.
Definitely.
Every time DIMAGA gets the creep around his main, around his natural, it's a lot easier to defend against it.
And a huge thing to note, the next map is a great map for DIMAGA. It is Metalopolis. If DIMAGA can spawn on opposite sides of the map, he is almost guaranteed to win given his amazing play. I think the one technique that that Tarson hasn't tried to employ yet is mech. That could be a huge key for him. And oh, DIMAGA is going to be a very happy camper going into game 4 because he is on opposite sides of the map. Tarson at the right position and DIMAGA at the north.
It really depends what DIMAGA is going to do with his overload. Is he going to let Tarson see it? That is crucial, because if he doesn't let Tarson see it and Tarson scouts the wrong way, DIMAGA automatically has this huge edge over Tarson. And that's going to be a really deciding point straight away.
And it does look like Tarson not going to be doing anything too kooky. Often players love building a first barracks here because then they can do Reaper harass at all positions equally well. It looks like Tarson might want to try to rally back here to spot. No, it doesn't. Looks like he's building a supply depot. And like you were saying, I wonder if DIMAGA is going to reveal his Overlord.
Yeah, is he going to reveal it? Is he going to go? He's like teasing us, he can hear us. But the SCV scouts it anyway. Nice play by Tarson, knowing the timing. And look at that in-game, sees the Overlord. And DIMAGA says, yo, yo, yo.
and honestly, that face actually looks like DIMAGA. He actually is that happy of a person. They're just delighted to be up here. I can even think I can hear DIMAGA smiling up on the main stage. And there's Tarson. Just happily making himself a barracks at the front. If anyone is a big DIMAGA fan, you should let him know right now. Happy Sunday, DIMAGA.
Sunday.
Yeah, something like that.
And we do see Tarson right now putting the barracks down. The refinery being placed as well. But what would have put Tarson in such a big lead is if he'd gone for the refinery first and gone for this Reaper play and built his barracks slightly towards the left. Because if we look at the distance that Reapers have to travel to get into the main of DIMAGA, I mean, it's like so close.
It's surprisingly close to 0, to be honest. I mean, this little jump down here, and oh, hey, look, I'm in your main. That can be very, very obnoxious to deal with, but I still think that too many players get too aggressive with their first Reaper here, because popping up to the high ground is always dangerous as Lings can be waiting. But with this positioning, Tarson will certainly be going for some sort of fast factory wall-off at the front. And as we saw in Tarson against Idra, I would not be surprised if Tarson went for the very fast very fast Banshee after the Hellion Marine push.
Oh, look at this. He actually lifts up the barracks right now and putting the tech lab down. First getting the Marine. And I'm not sure what the Marine is being used for. It looks like it's going to be used to deny any form of scouting via Overlords.
Looks like I was exactly wrong in my analysis. There's the tech lab going down right now. And it looks like he is sending an SCV forward. Is that going to be a factory going down as well? Wow, I would be very surprised by that. That's an interesting play. Looks like he will be able to get tanks up very quickly or might even go for some blue Hellion harass.
I know Tarson loves blue Hellions, but the way he's done this is really interesting. I'm not sure what he's planning to do. I haven't seen Tarson ever go one factory into Expo before. So blue Hellions could be a great possibility, and they are excellent in this matchup.
Absolutely, and you know, we have seen Tarson do Marine Hellion pushes at the start, perhaps just getting the tech lab to bolster that a little bit more. Tarson is also setting up to do a scout here at the left, might even try to hide a building. No, it doesn't look like he is going to be doing that. DIMAGA continuing to add queens. He does have speed starting, and as we can see, once he hits 150 minerals and 100 gas, Layer's going to pop up right away.
I'm trying to figure out what Tarson's doing. He's building that Hellion. Why did he get that tech lab on the barracks? He could have had, you know, an extra 2 Marines out instead of building that tech lab. I'm not exactly sure what he's doing. He is getting a starport as well, but I'm pretty confused by the play so far.
Perhaps he's just getting the tech lab early on so that way he can constantly make Marines, constantly make Hellions, and immediately get the Banshee anyways. Ordinarily, you would have to make the, you know what, I'm going to stop trying to predict what he's going to do because Tarson is just completely confusing me this game. Is he going to get the Blue Flame upgrade? No, he's just going to make a tank right away. This is bonkers.
I know, this build actually doesn't quite make sense to me. It's kind of crazy. And we have the Tech Lab on the starport as well. It doesn't have enough really to go for siege tanks if he wants to build a Banshee.
And there's the Hellion going into the main right now, trying to do a little bit of blue flame, or just, I guess, regular orange flame action. DIMAGA having those 2 extractors out right now, rallying onto this Hellion. DIMAGA looks completely fine, and ooh, Miss Micro completely abandons it.
It looks like Tarson's actually going to use some kind of all-in one-base play. Well, I shouldn't really say all-in play, but he's going to use some one-base play. He's getting the second barracks down. He actually waypointed his tank to the other side. He's like, oops, best bring that back into the base.
Yeah, scoots that right back in. Getting Marines, Banshees. Looks like he will be saving up for a tank as well. Trying to repel this Overseer, and there's an expansion from Tarson. This is very odd play by Tarson, but meanwhile, back in DIMAGA Town, he's just continuing to make drones. A lot of Zerglings at the front. Is there any Spire going down yet? Oh, it looks like a Baneling nest right off the bat. I think DIMAGA is just as confused as we are.
DIMAGA is so confused right now. I can tell by the way he's playing because he's building the Baneling nest straight away. He actually doesn't know what's going on, just like we don't. But I think what he's figuring out is that he has seen a lot of Marines with this Overseer. He now sees the Banshee, so he has to react fast. I mean, luckily for him, there's only 1 or not 2, so he should be able to defend against it. And he is getting the Hydra Den now as well. But I mean, he's got. Oh yeah, the Hydra Den's on the natural. I couldn't see it there.
And there are 2 Queens already starting to chip away at that Banshee. 3rd Queen getting made at the natural expansion. Drones running away. Ooh, very nice timing by DIMAGA. Didn't want to lose any of those drones. Tarson ends up with a very dry harass here. Back home, Tarson is going into, it looks like pretty typical macro mode. Getting 2 barracks, going to be with Reactor, 1 with a Tech Lab. And is going to try to do as much scouting and aggression with this Banshee as he can.
I'm still confused by Tarson. He's got this X-Bow, he's got another barracks down, and engineering base goes down as well. But, I mean, he hasn't even scouted the Spire, so I'm not sure why the engineering bay goes down, unless he goes for the upgrades, which he does. So I'm going to guess this is going to be kind of a +1 attack.
You know, it's starting to make more sense over time. I mean, this big Marine plus tank plus dropship action is very, very stable, very good, solid mid-game. We've seen a lot of players, including Tarson and Maru, do it in this tournament. But I think with this funky ordering, DIMAGA's making Hydralisks when he'd normally want to make Mutalisks because he's so confused, because he's worried about those Banshees. And that's going to strengthen Tarson's very typical push a lot more.
Well, if we look at DIMAGA's view right now and then look into the main of Tarson, he sees nothing. Like, he has no idea. He sees the X-Bow, but he doesn't know what building structures they are. Obviously, he knows there's a starport, but what else is there?
Yeah, I mean, he probably just saw that Banshee and immediately made the Hydralisk Den. It doesn't even look like he's gotten a range yet. Poking around, looks like, yes, there's the hatchery going down. And even though DIMAGA might not be playing the way he exactly wants to, he's still spreading the creep and expanding away from his opponent. He's still adding on more and more drones. Look at the timing with that Overlord, immediately adding on more larvae. The Overseer and the Hydralisks are clearing everything out. Good fundamentals by DIMAGA.
It's a happy 3rd hatchery up there because, like we always talk about on this map, he has not spawned. You know, he's not going towards the Terran base. It is away from the Terran base, which makes it so much easier to defend against. And a scouting SCV is going in. The scouting Banshee as well sees the 3rd. And what does the SCV see? It looks like it's going to get taken down before it even gets close to see anything.
And Tarson continuing to make SCVs, but not enough was transferred. Look at how many more SCVs there are here in the main, almost 16 full. Want to make sure that there's a good, even distribution of that, or else Tarson's going to be too low on money. He's adding on more barracks. +1 is finished. It would be a good time to attack, but again, he needs to make sure his macro doesn't fall behind without having enough SCVs.
Yeah, I'm just looking into the main, you know, like you said, 2 more barracks been put down.
Oh,
nice turret
and he
placements.
gacks the barracks.
And
the factory. Very nice play by DIMAGA. This will prevent anything from being produced from those 2 structures for 30 seconds. Going back to DIMAGA's base, Infestation Pit, very cool, getting the Evolution Chamber for +1/+1 ups as well.
Well, this is extremely late. Oh no, he did cancel the cloak. He actually started researching cloak, then stopped. Banshee does go down, and he won't be using any more Banshees in this game. He's only building Medivacs. +1 armor not being researched quite yet.
And here's the big push from Tarson. He's going to try to advance forward. Are there any infestors out? Going to the production tab, it looks like 2 are being made. The pathogen glands, that is the plus 75 energy, or plus 25 energy upgrade for the infestors, is not done yet. So we won't be able to fungal growth right off the bat. Looking at the unit counting station, it's all Zerglings and Banelings. And in the production menu, a lot more Zerglings coming out for DIMAGA. And he needs to get those Banelings as well. This could be potentially devastating if Tarson sieges up. And he does siege up right here next to all these key tech structures. Great positioning by Tarson. Big blunder by DIMAGA to have planted himself here, and he might just have to take the hit.
Yeah, taking the hit. The Sunken is going to, the Spine Coil, should I say, is going to go down. These tanks are nice. Though, when these Lings of Banelings come in, he has to retreat straight back to these tanks and make sure the tanks are focus firing on the Banelings, because the Banelings are going to be the damage right now.
And it looks like the upgrade for the infestors does finish. Oh, stimming a little bit too much. Trying to move forward. Whoa, Tarson very, very comfortable with his micro. Going to advance forward and pull right back. And the other evolution chamber falls. That is going to delay those upgrades so much. Tarson is doing a great job, but here comes DIMAGA. He now has enough for the fungal growth that will lock all these Marines in place. He will not be able to micro him. Here he is advancing forward. He has to pull back very, very far. The Banelings are just rolling through everything.
Wow.
And there's the fungal growth. He managed to get everything. And again, Banelings are just so strong. And with only 3 Hydralisks, he manages to clean up the rest. 1 lone tank finally falls, and again, DIMAGA coming up with a big lead, but remember that DIMAGA did lose those 2 evolution chambers, and Tarson is ahead on the upgrade front. So if Tarson waits a little bit longer to push, he will have a much stronger mid-game army than DIMAGA.
I love how Tarson actually managed to save units, and now he's going for a drop play in the back of DIMAGA's base, and he could snipe Overlords, Queens. There aren't really any key structures he could take out with just Marines.
And here comes all the Zerglings swinging back. He's doing a good bit of damage, and the best part is Tarson can easily retreat. Oh, nice surround there by DIMAGA, picking off a few lone Marines. But this is an excellent, excellent job by Tarson, pulling back at the last second. He can just leave these here. DIMAGA doesn't have a Spire. There's absolutely nothing he can do to shut these down. 2 more evolution chambers are up, but not yet upgrading.
That was really nice play by Tarson. He didn't even have to do any damage when he went into the main of DIMAGA. He just needed DIMAGA's units to be in the main so that he didn't come down to the natural, because he didn't have any units to reinforce at the time. So that actually brought him time to get tanks and Marines back out.
And if we look at DIMAGA's third, almost no drones mining, just 4 collecting minerals. Big Zergling force, and in particular, big Infestor force, going to be able to do some wonderful things with those fungal growths, or as I would want to call them, Plague. And it looks like DIMAGA is trying to move forward a little bit of an Overseer, try to find something, but all he encounters is a big drop from Tarson, and this is a lot of medevacs.
Great use of the changeling right there. He's controlling the Xel'Naga Tower in the middle of the map. That's really nice. The Hive is being produced right now. 14 Banelings as well. He's got a lot of units. These infestors are so crucial. And I just love the way DIMAGA deals with any timing attack from the Terran player. He just crushes it every time.
I was blown away with his patience. Those 2 key structures right here, they were being picked off from the tanks on the low ground. He just let them die because he needed to get the key units up to defend the push, and then he patiently rebuilds them and begins +1/+1 again. DIMAGA really didn't want to advance, and oh, Gak in the factory again. Will not have as many tanks as he wants. Excellent play. Overseer's one of the underused units in this game. The Contaminate spell, so good at denying big macro pushes.
And
here's Tarson.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, look, little tiny drop on the left side.
Yeah, look at that drop moving in right now. And there's hardly, no, there are so many Lings here to defend it though, so I don't really think Tarson does stim to get it up there as soon as possible, but he won't really be able to do that much damage because these Lings are there.
Oh, he regrets his decisions. He is moving the medevac out. The Queen doesn't manage to move forward, but the Infestors could be a big blow to that medevac if they do get the fungal growth off.
Yeah, and that's what actually Tarson is abusing against DIMAGA right now, is the fact that he doesn't have the Spire. So he's using these dropships really well because nothing can take them down. He doesn't have any Hydras. He has 1 Hydra. And look, so all he has to do is just defend. He can't actually take the medevac out.
Yeah, and it looks like, oh no, big extra drop coming in the main, but there are Banelings here waiting. Oh, and Tarson correctly pulls back. He's trying to find some hole in DIMAGA's defense, but there just don't seem to be any +2/+2 at the Evolution Chambers and the Ultra Cavern going down.
Yeah, the Ultra Cavern going down, the Adrenal Glands as well, +2 as you said. That's going to be a beastly army soon. So Tarson's actually running out of time because he only has Marines. He doesn't really have anything to take out all these Ultralists. He has so many Marines and tanks, and looks like Tarson's going to push. This could be a great push because the Ultras Cavern only just finished, and the Ultras take so long to make. Tarson could actually do a great time attack right now.
And the fungal growth on the medevac and the infested Terrans take it down. excellent use of those infestors. Tarson going to be pushing up the same alley. He has a bunch of 1-1 Marines. Are there any more upgrades coming? No. So it does look like DIMAGA is at 1-1 as well. So it isn't going to be the biggest advantage. But here come all the Zerglings up from the front.
Oh my God, look at this flank by DIMAGA.
And the huge fungal growth doing tons of damage and just chewing through the rest of the army. And the infestors there and all the infested Terrans getting thrown down. The medevacs will be falling. See you later, medevacs. And there's one more great fungal growth. DIMAGA, time and time again, showing why you just shouldn't go infantry against him.
Every time he goes infantry, DIMAGA just sandwiches you. You cannot run away. The fungal growth goes down, and Banelings just destroy all the Marines. That army composition by Tarson was purely tank Marine, and wow, did they die fast.
DIMAGA does have this third base up on the left. Tarson in the bottom right getting up his own third base. Moving around, Tarson looks like he's just continuing to make tanks. Tanks are going to be the essential unit that allows him to take out those Banelings from a distance. And Tarson realizing that there isn't that much anti-air, getting some Vikings that'll help him close off the map.
I have no idea how Tarson is ahead in food right now. He is actually ahead in food, even though he just lost that huge army. I don't even know how that is possible.
That's actually amazing to me that he's able to be that resilient. We see that the +2 armor for Ultralisk is going down, gold expansion going up for DIMAGA, a sensor tower goes down. I actually don't like this sensor tower because it does reveal to DIMAGA that there is an expansion in the bottom right. Oh, I guess he already knew about it, but still, you always have to be very careful because these sensor towers do display this line to the enemy.
Yeah, they display the line to the enemy, but I don't even think that that will matter because when DIMAGA decides to move out, he's going to have a lot of high-tech units, and they're going to do a lot of damage to everything that Tarson has. And if we go back and remember how Morrow played against, was it against Hydra that game? I mean, against DIMAGA that game.
Yeah.
When they both were camping around, and DIMAGA had this late-game army, Morrow just couldn't deal with it.
Absolutely, and it does look like the evolution chambers have not yet started +3/+3. Tarson just having a lot of faith and comfort in this mix of units, medevac, Marine, tank, but again, he's going to need a lot more tanks if he wants to stay relevant in the later stages of the game, and it looks like finally now getting more upgrades. Yeah,
DIMAGA is pretty happy with the position he's in right now. He's going to be pretty gas happy because he needs the gas for all these Ultralisk Broodlords as well being made. So now he's taking the gas in the middle. He doesn't even care about the gold right now because he doesn't need minerals. Zerg is all about gas.
And here comes Tarson with a little bit of a Viking attack on the left side, but ooh, there's an Ultralisk and some Spine Crawlers getting thrown down here. DIMAGA playing so safe, he sees these, and look, having to immediately back off. Tarson also gearing up to take the bottom expansion, but there's this Changeling here that's seeing everything that's going on. Excellent use again of that Overseer. Broodlord's out in the center, and DIMAGA, like you've said so many times in this tournament, the longer the game goes on, the happier he is.
And these Vikings are having to lift off and just, they're coming down to take care of that drone, and they'll lift off and run away because there are a lot of units coming their way, and they have to fly away. He's got to be careful. Broodlords are coming down. It looks like DIMAGA's actually considering to do a push pretty soon.
And it looks like he wants to try to bait all these Vikings so we can get them with one great fungal growth and finish it off with some infested Terrans. But it's definitely not going to be able to finish in time. Looks like, oh, look at this tank count from Tarson. Wow, and now suddenly adding on a bunch of factories. Looks like he's going to be doing a big switch to mech. That would be a very clever late game play. Either way, Tarson getting a +2/+2 upgrade. Incredibly late though.
I love the way that DIMAGA's building Corruptors right now. I mean, that is to deal with all the Vikings, because Vikings take down Broodlords so fast. But with Corruptors, he'll be able to deal with them quite easily. And it looks like DIMAGA's gaining for this two-way push. I'm looking at the scan, he sees that army there. It looks like the Vikings are going to see this other army on the side of the map. And this is just DIMAGA all over. He's got to be careful. These Broodlords are under fire right now. Corruptors come down.
Oh, and he misses with a fungal growth, but finally manages to get one down. And these infestors are going to just infinitely fungal growth all of those Vikings. And there goes some more down, just continuing to just goop them up one at a time. And there's the infested Terrans to clean everything up.
Wow, this is great play. Look, these infested Terrans going to clear up these Vikings. These Vikings go down. Brilliant play by DIMAGA right there. Holding them there and then putting infested Terrans down and cleaning up.
but it looks like Tarson just has so many tanks. He was realizing that the reason that those banelings were so strong is because of the fact that there were not enough tanks, so now slowly inching his way forward. And we can see DIMAGA just carefully pulling back and always going to be scooping around from the left side as well. This could be a huge flank he's setting up.
Yeah, he's actually sitting outside, just outside the center tower, so he doesn't reveal his position. As soon as Tarson moves forward, he will go directly behind. The thing I'm missing from Tarson right now is vehicle upgrades. And here DIMAGA is showing his army. He's got to be careful.
Oh, the Infestors ends up dying as well. That is a huge, huge blow not to have those key fungal growths off. The Infestor ends up rushing in, and it also dies. The tanks are obliterating these Baneling numbers, and the Marines are cleaning everything up. One fungal growth goes down, but Tarson miraculously coming out way, way ahead in this fight.
And DIMAGA has got to run back to his base. He needs to reinforce ASAP. He needs units out because look at all them Marines. Right now in the production tab, 8 Ultralisks and 48 Links are coming, but the Ultralisks take so long to make. These Links will be out, but these Marines are going to make short work. All these tanks are out as well. They're going to do a lot of damage against all these Links.
And there's one Ultralisk. The center expansion does fall down, but look, DIMAGA having so much patience, pulling back, now advancing forward with some spine crawlers to set up another defensive front. Tarson also having the freedom to take his own 4th expansion at the south end. And I think that all these factories just pouring out tanks are what are helping DIMAGA maintain the lead.
I can't believe that DIMAGA tried to go in there, and I'm not sure if he actually saw the right amount of tanks. Because there were like 8 tanks there that obliterated every Baneling and every Link before they even got close to doing any damage.
But it's that the Infestors died so early, so there were no fungal growths to help bolster the strength of those Banelings. And DIMAGA's going for it.
Tarson,
unsieged tanks way behind, and the Banelings chew through the Marines yet again. DIMAGA has only Ultralisks against tanks, and that is the fight he wants to be up against. Big blunder by Tarson, having the Marines lead.
Oh my God, the Marines were at the front, he wasn't ready, his tanks weren't siege, and they just did nothing. They were doing single shots against these Links compared to the massive splash damage they usually do. And oh my God, what a blunder by Tarson. And that is given, look at the minimap.
Oh, look at the minimap, the huge stream of blue pouring down, Ultralisks swinging from the bottom, and more Zerglings just pouring in from behind. These Marines are trying to micro. There's some great control there by Tarson. The center is going to fall. These Ultralisks are maxed out on upgrades, and Tarson, who had the miraculous lead with that amazing tank control, is not looking too hot anymore.
And that's how critical StarCraft 2 is. If you make a mistake like that, it can cost you the game, and it looks like it's actually going to cost Tarson the game. Though I say that, I'm looking at the unit count. He still has 160 food. He's reinforcing so well. Tarson's macro is superb this game.
Yeah, and is he getting those 3/3 upgrades? He's getting the +3 attack, and there's the tank siege. He needs to be careful. Oh, very, very nice. Sieging up behind this cliff right here so he can stay alive a little bit more easily and micro against those Banelings. Look at DIMAGA adding on another 11 Banelings.
Yeah, 11 Banelings going to make short work of these Marines, and Tarson just has to make sure that his army is in position when DIMAGA tries to come in or when he tries to go in. I'm still disappointed we are not seeing any upgrades from Tarson throughout this game, and we are seeing the disconnect screen. I don't know what's going on with Tarson. He's looking kind of confused on stage right now, and I'm not sure what's going on.
Oh, and his computer crashes. Oh no. That is not the situation that I think anyone wants to be in.
I know, right in the last game, I mean, if DIMAGA had won that game, he could have won the series, but it's, to me, in my opinion, far too close to call a winner.
Absolutely.
I mean, both players are still in that game, and that's got to be pretty depressing for both players to actually have that done.
I'm opening up the replay right now. It was 30 minutes and 22 seconds is where we were at. So that is an extremely long and grueling game to have to end up replaying. So we're going to find out the results to see what is going to end up happening. But I'm going to get a chance to look to see what the game state was again there. Because, I mean, Tarson had so many production structures, but not really any money coming in anymore. And DIMAGA, I think, would have been able to pick off the bottom.
Well, definitely, we're going to have a look at the replay ourselves to see who was ahead. But Tarson, by his looking on stage, looks like he feels that he was ahead in that game. By the way, that he was so gutted when that happened. So we're just going to view the replay, as you can see on the main screen right now. We're going to go straight towards the end of the game to see what it was like. But 30 minutes and 22 seconds, and that is not what you want in a long game, to have the PC crash.
And, you know, it's kind of funny because we were talking so much about this confusion at the start. There were all these tech structures out from Tarson, and we didn't really know what was going to be coming out of it. But again, this core of tanks, medevacs, and Marines, so effective.
I don't really think that Tarson's build early on was that smooth. I don't know if he was like cross-minded, he didn't know what to do, if he was confused about what kind of style he wants to like play. His game plan wasn't down 100%. But his weird push, I mean, it got cleaned up so well by DIMAGA. If we look on the replay right now, look how well the positional is right now. But I love how calm DIMAGA was throughout the entire situation.
Just hanging out. I think he ends up making a lot more banelings up here. That first evolution chamber falls. DIMAGA, look, yeah, just adding on more banelings. It sucks, but that's fine. He's going to wait patiently. He's going to make sure he can take the attack out. As we can see at this part in the game, both players had the exact same amount of food and patiently waiting. Look at that, pulling all the Zerglings and units back into the far corner to make sure he didn't take any losses at all. And there's the second evolution chamber going down.
And then this is where DIMAGA makes his move. I love the way he goes from 2 different directions. And look at this, he comes in. And the fungal growth is a key part of this. Look how they hold the Marines there.
Oh,
and then the Baileys just come and melt everything. And that is really nice play by DIMAGA. Because when you miss a fungal growth, Marines can move back, and then the tanks do so much damage to the Banelings because they're being hit.
Yeah, and there's the drop that DIMAGA easily repelled. And I mean, I wish I could have this replay go a little bit faster, but I mean, it's kind of a funny reminder of how much actually happened in that game. Tarson trying to do all these dropship controls, and look, even scooting this one medevac over to the left side to do as much damage as he can, but he got a little bit of a rude awakening when there was a million control groups of units there.
Yeah, and looking into the main of Tarson right now, his macro is pretty good. I mean, he's got so many production structures, and every fight he went into, he was always ready back up, not max, but he went straight back up to 150, 160 food almost instantly.
Yeah, and I mean, one thing I'm just sitting over here all game long is this engineering bay. These upgrades were so delayed, and there's the second huge win for DIMAGA. But again, like you were saying, it's so amazing to me, just looking at this food count. I mean, look at Tarson just force his way back ahead. Yeah, slowly just climbing higher and higher and higher, and that really goes to show why macro is such an important component to gameplay. It's not just something that you should learn to help you out. It really can result, you know, in you staying alive when you actually shouldn't. I mean, Tarson already getting 20 food ahead after losing a huge amount of units. I
know, if we look at the minimap, actually, DIMAGA looks pretty good in this game right now. With this gold, he's getting the gas. But it's this push that Tarson does anytime now. When he unsieges and moves out, it was so good. And we'll have a look at that again in a minute. The only thing I am disappointed in Tarson for is not actually getting upgrades for his vehicles. I mean, if he had got +3 tanks and +3 armor for his tanks by now, he could have just melted so much more. He could have gone and won the game there. That's actually game changing. And this is beautiful as well, the way that these infested Terrans take down them Vikings. Really nice play. But this is actually the push that, in my opinion, put Tarson right in the lead in this game. I mean, he went so far ahead. And the way that, look how many tanks he has right now. He has so many tanks, and these Ling Banelings just died so fast. We're looking at it right now, and DIMAGA's got this 2-way positional army, one coming in from the top over here, and one from the south down here. And then he comes in now, but look at these siege tanks. This is actually, that is what changed it. Losing them 3 infestors, the 4th one almost dead. He lost actually a lot of units before going in, and here's the decision to go in. And look at these tanks cleaning up all these Banelings and everything. The Ultras are just dying as well. And look at the Marines. The Marines safe at the back. It actually looks that they blocked. The tanks actually blocked the Marines. Yeah. Therefore, the Banelings had to filter through to get to the Marines, and they just couldn't get there.
And I wanted to let everyone know, if the players agree to a regame, it will be a regame. If not, it will be a referee's decision on the match. So we're getting our own look at the game right now. It's this big push by Tarson that amazingly pulled him back into a commanding position in this game. We see all the medevacs coming up. The center just falls down immediately. Could have been a little bit more bold sniping off that Ultralisk, but again, all these tanks are far in the back. And when you get a lead as Terran against Zerg, you got to capitalize on it by pushing very aggressively, because Banelings do build relatively quickly, and you want to hit him before he can get those key Baneling numbers out. And I do think it was very smart for Tarson to pull back and then push back up again.
Yeah, he just wasn't quite aware where DIMAGA's army was. This is regame.
Oh, okay.
I think I just got confirmation through my ear. It looks like it will have a regame. and we're going to come out of the replay. And the regame will be, this is great sportsmanship by both players. I mean, I think it was too close to call. So that was brilliant play by both players, and that's just great sportsmanship by DIMAGA and by Tarson.
Yeah, that's got to be a definite rough spot for DIMAGA because he was in a little bit nicer of a position. But again, DIMAGA is the friendliest Zerg player known to man. So, of course, if you're a fan of your DIMAGA-like sportsmanship, feel free to let him know. And, of course, Tarson, in a very, very intense position, now has to replay that series. But, I mean, both players, I mean, we're lucky that we get to see, like, another epic game. I mean, 30 minutes.
My voice cannot wait to see this game. I'm like, God, I cannot wait for this game to go on. And I'd just like to thank the players personally for, because usually in tournaments like this, people will argue and argue and argue. But that's how friendly both these guys are.
Yeah,
they are just, okay.
Only in the StarCraft 2 community would you see that.
Only in the StarCraft community do you see that. And we are going to get ready. And the map will be on the same again. It's going to be on Metallicus. And we're going straight into the game. We're going to be loading up now. And that's just sportsmanship all round.
And you know, one thing that I think is nice for Tarson here is that he gets a chance to redo his build that we found pretty bumpy in that last match. So I think this is going to be a good chance for him to sort of rethink what he wants to do. He's seen how the general mix of Marine tank medevac can be so effective, but he wants to do it better this game.
The thing, like, we're into the game right now, and we do have DIMAGA at the top, both players saying good luck, and this is actually quite nice positions for DIMAGA. If we look, they are cross positions right now, and this is going to be really nice. And look at that face, that is DIMAGA. That's what it looks like every day, every night.
Yeah, he even has a huge, big banana grin on his face while sleeping. We even see his... Looks like they're trying as hard as they can to avoid any sort of disconnection issues. Sometimes you do have to do good bandwidth micro. He's continuing to make SCVs. This is going to be a rough spot for Tarson. Cross map. This is actually the ugly cross map position. I really do not like this very much. You know, when we had the other cross maps where it was DIMAGA up here and Tarson over here, he could do drops, and he also could get a very nice third base up. But here, I mean, Tarson is not going to have any chance for aggression. He can only really do big straight-up pushes.
And look at that, Tarson actually moving his SCV up to the top of his base, and that is just to make sure that DIMAGA had not spawned at the 9 o'clock position and had moved his overlord back so that Tarson didn't see it. Great play. The barracks is going down on the ramp. We are not seeing a refinery first. Pretty standard play here by DIMAGA as well. We have the 14 gas just being done. 14 pool will obviously be coming next. But the thing is with this map, it is so far. If we look at Tarson's base right now and look at the route he has to take all the way up, past the Zelnaga Tower, through the gold, and then to the natural of DIMAGA, that is a long way to go.
And this is a huge control point, this area right here in the gold expansions. In fact, a lot of Terran players will take their third as this gold expo so they can tank units that are down here and over here. But the problem is the distances on Metalopolis, just the size of these streets is so wide that mobile units control it a lot easier than static tanks. So that is another reason why DIMAGA is going to be very happy at these positions.
Tarson has built a Marine first, just like the previous game. And will we see the Tech Lab after the Marine like last game, or will he build the Marines first? In my opinion, going for the Marines, it depends what he wants to do though, I should say. I mean, he is getting the second Marine after that, but I felt last game when he did get that Tech Lab, he just went for Marines, he built 3 Marines after the Tech Lab and didn't even use it, you know, efficiently.
Queen end speed coming out for DIMAGA right now. Looks like more Marines being produced, and there is the factory about to go down. He needs to be careful not to let this drone up the ramp. He doesn't want to let any information reveal occur. Even just seeing this factory would immediately make DIMAGA realize that he was much safer against any sort of Reaper play. DIMAGA now trying to advance forward to try to take his own expansion. This SCV is almost certainly going to fall to these Zerglings. Yep, not even going to try to block it.
Yeah, that's pretty good timing there by DIMAGA. He's seen exactly where the positions are, so he's not going to delay that expansion any longer. He puts down the hatch on 21, which is really nice. And is he producing any links? That's what tells me what he's thinking. And he is not building any links right now, only drones. He is comfortable enough with what's going on that he doesn't need to build any links. Now he should be building links. Haven't seen his force push out. And we are seeing a Tech Lab on the barracks after the first few Marines. and then a Hellion and a Starport being put down as well.
And a very early refinery coming out right now for Tarson. It looks like this barracks tech lab timing's a little bit more reasonable, as this Starport is very close to being finished, but still a touch confused if he's going to be doing the swap here. Looks like he does want to have a lot of Hellions out, so doesn't want to build the tech lab on the factory. Hatch is getting upgraded to a layer, and I think DIMAGA is going to be comfortably making a lot of drones at the outset.
And we are going into basically the same style that Tarson did last time. He's using the identical build. It wouldn't surprise me if we put down the tech lab on the Starport right now. There it is, and he's building tanks, and we're just seeing exactly a mirror build from Tarson this game. And compared to the last game we saw, in this position, it's going to be a longer game, in my opinion. It's going to be a macro-oriented game because of the way that the expansions move around the map. They move away from each other rather than going towards each other.
And here's a Hellion just waltzing directly into DIMAGA's main again, exactly the way it was last game. But I don't think DIMAGA's going to have to get any sort of fast Baneling nest the way he felt forced to last game. He can easily get a Spire. Looks like one drone did manage to go down, so that's a nice little harassment there by Tarson.
I love that the way DIMAGA actually went up the ramp there. He saw everything. And that Starport, I would have liked the Starport slightly behind, so that DIMAGA couldn't see it as he went up the ramp, because DIMAGA knows every structure that Tarson has now, and he knows exactly how to react. It wouldn't surprise me if we got a third Queen out anytime, because he needs that to defend against this Banshee.
And it looks like DIMAGA is just saving up, and there the Spire goes down right when he hits 200, and here's the Banshee also en route. No cloak at all, though, so we will be able to repel it as long as not too many Banshees end up coming. And pretty much just drones getting produced right now for DIMAGA. I hate that he doesn't have control of the Xel'Naga watchtowers. He absolutely needs to have a Zergling at each of those, because there is a lot of space here. And oh no, if he'd had it, he would have been able to see that Banshee, but I don't know if he did see it. Is he making any extra Queens? No, he is not, so that is a big blunder by DIMAGA.
I think this Banshee is he might be able to take down this Queen. He's moving both Queens together, therefore the Queen will not go down. This Banshee will not be able to do any damage, really. Nice play there by DIMAGA. But what I really think Tarson's thinking with that Banshee is that he wants to force a Hydra Den out again, just like the previous game. Threatens the Banshee and then forces DIMAGA to build the Hydras, and then he goes for this mech play, which just melts Hydraless.
Looks like an Overseer is out right now for DIMAGA, going to easily be able to repel that, as those Overseers are so fast, can do some great spotting. Spire is nearly done. He'll be producing Mutalisks shortly, and a drone's even going to the third to set up a super fast third base.
And that is perfect. Actually, he did spend his minerals on the Mutalisk, so the third is getting delayed. Look at that, Tarson's scouting for the third, not finding it, and he didn't see the drone either, so that drone should go do the hatchery right now. But Tarson's got to be careful not to leave any holes in his base. That's what's going to help him throughout this game. He needs to get perfect turret placement so that DIMAGA cannot harass him.
The creep spread is not nearly as good as it was in the previous games, and Tarson, oh, like clockwork, doing the exact same style that he did last game. There's the orbital command down, and look at how many drones are there, how many SCVs. That is perfect. That's exactly the split that he needs. It was a little bit off previously, but now he's getting it planted down great. And look at the Overseer. Yes, Tarson is positive that that Banshee is being seen right now, and here comes the Mutalisk, just going to clean this Banshee up. And DIMAGA, this is his strength. Mutalisk, Zergling, Baneling, it's going to be nearly impossible for Tarson to defend.
In the previous game, he didn't have the Mutalisk to do the damage. He only went for this Ling Baneling kind of combination, as well with with the Hydras, and that's how I feel that he didn't do as well last game as he had been commanding the previous game. But now we are going to see the standard trademark Mutalisk micro here by DIMAGA, and he's going to look to pick off any SCVs, find any holes that he can do damage in, and just hold Tarson in his base.
It's a little bit weird turret placement from Tarson, not quite getting it to the left side of the base. That engineering bay is vulnerable. Does he have stim? No, he doesn't. He needs to keep that engineering bay alive. +1 is one of those essential upgrades that helps you just rip through Zerg units. Wandering around DIMAGA's base, oh yes indeed, 22 or 21 Banelings coming out right now. DIMAGA also continuing to add on Larva. SCV getting the chance to walk straight into DIMAGA's main, and he does see that Baneling nest.
Yeah, the Baneling nest, actually I didn't realize how many Banelings he actually had. He's got 21 Banelings right now, only 6 Mutalisks. He doesn't have that many. I'm surprised at the counter Mutalisk. He does like to have a ton, but there are a lot of Marines. This tank push, are we going to see Tarson have a similar tank push to the one before? but I don't know, he might be feeling that, you know, that push didn't work last game, the second push didn't work last game, maybe I should wait, try to get a third up and get this critical mass of tanks. As I say that though, he does actually unseize. Is he going to be pushing right now?
It looks like he is gearing up to. He does have 2 medevacs, +1 is done. Does he have combat shield? No, it's just been started, but he has so many barracks planted down in the back of his main, and the Mutalist trying to peel everything back, trying to swing around, pick off SCVs here, and oh, there's the weak spot right there behind the minerals, also trying to hit these tanks, and there's the stim and retreat, but look, only 4 Marines stim and retreat, and DIMAGA is going to be able to take out some ones in the main, but Tarson is still pushing with the same size army.
And then DIMAGA's pumping out a ton of lings right now. And look at this. This actually takes down the tank. Very nice play by DIMAGA. Reduces that count tank. And that is so important because these tanks are going to do a lot of heavy duty work against these lings and banelings. And the little lags back there, but we just carry on. And DIMAGA, I mean, Tarson's looking to set up the scanners there. He sees exactly how many units DIMAGA has, and he's going to be looking. He has to be careful. He has to siege right now.
Oh, and here's the flank. The tanks don't siege in time. He's advancing forward. He might be able to kill these Marines with just Zerglings, and it looks like the Banelings didn't even really get the chance to hit the Marines, but look at how high. Wow, that was such a high Zergling count by DIMAGA, boldly just darting right up there to the Marines, and he needs to begin these +1/+1 upgrades. Is a hive coming up soon? No, it looks like he is just making infestors and upgrades.
That was really close then. DIMAGA's units were actually attacking in the wrong way. The Banelings were doing damage against the tanks, and the Lings were following the infantry. It should have been the other way around, but he wasn't quite ready. He tried to get in, but the tanks did siege in time, but he could have had that fight in his favor. He just mismicroed a little bit there.
And I mean, either way, Tarson is in heavy macro mode, getting tons and tons of Marines, only having 1 barracks with a tech lab, all the rest having the reactors, and the expansion going down as well. This is the hallmark of an expert player who is attacking, and even if it fails, they still have a further plan. Tarson, who had to retreat, getting the expo up and getting ready to go into the later stages of the game.
And it actually looks like a mirror game right now. An attack by Tarson, fails the first attack, and then he's getting ready for the third. A nice tank count. This game, Tarson, please get the armory up, start pumping upgrades, because the upgrades does make a huge difference in the long-term battles.
Absolutely, and DIMAGA faltering a little bit under the pressure, not spreading creep enough. These creep tumors in the past games were so active, would have been all the way across map right now, but hasn't really done that. We see that there are more starports, or the starport is making more medevacs, big medevac count from Tarson, wants to make sure he can micro and do harassment. His orbital command is starting to move to this 3rd base, so Tarson, again, looking very, very strong going into the later stages.
The armory is being placed down now on the natural of Tarson. He should be looking to get the +2 for his infantry, and it wouldn't surprise me if he did put down a 2nd engineering bay, because that is a really smart thing to do. Get the +2/+2 at the same time. He should also look into investing into these vehicle upgrades, as I keep saying, and I can't stress how important it is to fight against these Ling Banelings with upgraded tanks.
Big Baneling count out right now for DIMAGA, 53 Banelings. It's a quarter of his food are walking bombs, and there are also 5 infestors out, going to be able to lock those Marines down, because that's the only reason DIMAGA didn't pummel that first army, is because the Marines could run away. We see an Overseer's getting in there. Oh, and he manages to get the engineering bay. It's going to delay that +2 attack upgrade. So critical, and just dropping the Changeling, because hell, why not? He's going to do a little bit of scouting with it as the Overseer dies.
The hive is almost done right now, and we are going to see it, but just by the way the upgrades are going to DIMAGA right now, I know he's going into Ultralisk. The +2 melee attacks is being researched along with the +2 carapace, so he's going to transition straight into Ultralisk. Are we going to see the Ultralisk Cavern being placed down anytime soon, because the hive has just finished? Adrenal glands being researched. It looks like this drone is going to be putting the Ultralisk Cavern down. Ultralisk Cavern is down now, and we look down in Tarson's base. 3rd is up, double gas. Oh no, 1 gas being placed down, and the extra engineering bay.
Yeah, I'm loving that he may have perhaps heard us in between the games last time. He's getting the 2nd engineering bay very fast and getting his +2/+2 upgrades very fast. It is going to keep him strong in the later stages of the game, and here's a nice big drop. Oh my god, huge Zergling Baneling number. He needs to try to kill all this hatchery as fast as he can, but there are just too many units, and whoa, manages to get out, only losing 1 Marine. But if there were any infestors nearby, that would have completely locked down that medevac, so it's very difficult to harass at this point in time.
I'm really interested to actually look at this composition of Tarson, only Marine tank. A lot of players love to get the Marauders so that they can tank the damage from the Banelings, but I think what Tarson wants to do is to have a lot of tanks, like so many tanks, that the Banelings don't even have the chance to get close. And this is where I'd like to see DIMAGA changing around and actually getting Burrow for the Banelings would be a really cool idea, because he doesn't have a Raven, and when you do thread and Burrow, it means you have to spend extra gas on a Raven to actually move out rather than spending that on tanks.
And there's the +2 armor for Ultralisk, but it doesn't look like the DIMAGA will be able to get any Ultralisk up in time. Here's an Infestor moving forward. More Creep Tumor spreading. Manages to get a few Marines. This is going to delay the push. This isn't to do any sort of huge damage right now. And oh, there's another great fungal growth. It doesn't look like any Marines will die. But he needs to be careful. He could get the huge fungal growth off. Manages to barely get the edge. Ooh, Marines doing their own thing. This could be so dangerous for Tarson.
I love the way that DIMAGA's just holding Tarson back. He really needs these Ultralisks out. They are about 60% done right now. They are about to morph. Ultralisks are morphing now, and he's just holding Tarson back, and I love this, because if he'd actually hit before the Ultralisks came out, that could have been really game-ending for DIMAGA.
So all those tanks are sieged right now. Units within vision range of each other, yet not quite doing anything. And here's the huge push from DIMAGA coming in down here. There are so many tanks. He needs to get good fungal growths off. Gets one down. But here are Banelings coming from the top side. There are so many Banelings, and there's the fungal growth.
Oh,
Goodbye,
wow, look at the Marines. The Marines are gone.
So much damage.
Woo!
Chewed through the entire army, and DIMAGA again comes out with a commanding lead thanks to massing Banelings.
Wow, I just love how he held Tarson back with the Infestors, waiting for the Ultralisk, and then what an execution that was by DIMAGA. That was perfect. I thought for a second that Tarson was going to win, the way he pulled back the Marines, and the tanks were doing heavy-duty damage, but there were just so many Banelings.
And look at all the Banelings and the Ultralisks moving him down to this third expansion. It's not a planetary fortress. The Banelings chasing after those SCVs. Oh, and huge tank shots. Now the Ultralisk taking out all of these supply depots. And smartly, DIMAGA will end up retreating. Might end up losing one of those Ultralisks, but still very, very, very calm play by DIMAGA, who has a huge, huge lead right now.
Yeah, compared to the last game, Tarson, every time he lost a battle or came out slightly behind, he actually had the same food count, if not more. Then honestly, hold that thought, because Tarson is actually dropping on the left-hand side, the nanocop position. Brilliant micro. The Medivac will escape. Very nice play. He managed to take down a couple of drones. Very nice play. Now go back to what I was saying, is that Tarson was always close to food count compared to DIMAGA. But DIMAGA is now maxed out compared to Tarson's 150.
And there's really not that much that Tarson can do. Every time he gets a big maxed army, it just gets annihilated by this amazing composition that DIMAGA has. And as we can see, DIMAGA is also getting the +3 carapace upgrade. So with fully upgraded Ultraling and Infestor, it's going to be increasingly tough to break.
And look, Larry, on the left-hand side right now, if we look at this huge drop coming from DIMAGA.
Giant drop on the left, and look at the creep highway on the top, so we can counterattack on the right side as well. There's just so many units out right now for DIMAGA, and Tarson has to commit to having his army by these static tanks.
And here it is. That is brilliant play by DIMAGA. He knows that all the tanks are seized by the second and third, and he just drops in the main.
Oh, and there's the big drop. All the Marines are
so
trying to rush back, but at the same time, it looks like there are plenty of Marines here right now, and this looks like it's going to backfire completely for DIMAGA. Tarson with the great defense, but here comes a big other attack by DIMAGA.
Oh, and they're actually coming into the third. All these tanks were unsieged, but I don't know if they're going to be able to do enough damage. When Ultralisks come in, they're going to do so much splash damage against these. But the SCVs are blocking.
And there's the Banelings. Taking out all of those SCVs. The tanks doing the exact opposite of what they were supposed to do, which is to help keep you alive. Annihilates all of those SCVs.
And even though DIMAGA didn't break down the army, he killed all the SCVs, so that is a correct reaction right now from Tarson. He should push right now before the reinforcements are out from DIMAGA. He needs to go now, because that hit to his SCVs hurts him so much. He is only at 40 SCVs in late game, and that is not good. But look at DIMAGA reinforcing. There is so much blue and creep around this map.
I know, look at the mini-map. Oh, there are just blue units everywhere. DIMAGA spreading himself out very nicely. But with this size army, Tarson can siege up and get himself into a nice position. Are there any Infestors anywhere? No, I don't see a single Infestor nearby. There's one that's very, very far away that seems to be forgotten about. So this tank Marine push by Tarson might be able to pull him ahead.
He might be able to pull back into this game now. Tarson looking brilliant right now. This position's so good. And DIMAGA's going in again. Will he able to get off these shots?
And he does kill off the Banelings, but there are so many Ultralisks coming down from above. They are, oh my god, Ultralisks are really good against Marines. It's just tanks left right now.
It's the splash damage. All these Ultralisks, 6 Ultralisks attacking at the same time against these Marines. Marines go down. He doesn't even need the Banelings. and the upgrades, they are fully maxed out. And DIMAGA once again clears the map out from any Tarson forces. Tarson knocked down to 108 food. DIMAGA with a monstrous 160, and it looks like he's going straight for the kill.
And already, even if Tarson does defend this attack, he does not have a fourth base running, and these Ultralists are just chewing through all of these SCVs, and even with everything stimmed and tank siege, the Ultralists are just a little too strong. And look at the Zergling reinforcements coming in. There's almost nothing that Tarson can do about it. He's making out of as many barracks as he can, but all the SCVs are dying at this expansion, and his third is completely open and vulnerable.
I know, and it looks like DIMAGA is going to take this game. Tarson really is trying to hold on, but these links, the reinforcements, everything is waypointed into DIMAGA's base. Lings, Ultralists are doing so much damage, and if we actually look, Tarson is holding on. He's got these Marines moving them around, in and out between buildings, and actually holding on. Oh my, I actually didn't think more reinforcements are coming. Can he hold on? These Ultralists are going straight for that time. Marines having to come back. Can he do it?
And he's trying to micro his target, firing one Ultralist. He manages to kill off that one. This tank Marine composition that seems so vulnerable is still managing to keep Tarson in this game. It's just that Tarson's macro is so good, and it looks like Tarson may have been able to defend this. I don't believe it. Tarson somehow staying in this game, but the problem is he is still up against a huge force. There is a lot of minerals still alive for DIMAGA.
Yeah, DIMAGA's got so much gas, so many minerals, and if we look at Tarson's third base, it is almost out. He has no minerals. He has a handful of minerals on the natural, no minerals on the main. The third is almost completely finished up, and he's looking to try and take the fourth expansion. But DIMAGA looking around to actually see if he is mining from anywhere, and he isn't. But this is going to be really hard for Tarson. Even though his defense was so good, he has to face the macro of DIMAGA.
I just cannot tell you how impressive it is that Tarson is not dead. He should have died several times in this game, but again, once all the Banelings are gone and it's small Marine tank numbers against anything, the Marine tank numbers seem to be able to hold on. These Marines are 3/3, they do 9 damage and have 3 armor, so the Zerglings are much less effective than they were earlier on in this game. A fourth is getting planted down by Tarson, but some scans need to go down. He needs to start pushing back this creep spread, because that is the only thing that is keeping him alive right now.
And that pushes from DIMAGA before hurt him, because he did not build any hatcheries, he stopped producing any drones and didn't look. He just wanted to finish the game as soon as possible, and that now it actually put him behind because he doesn't have that strong of economy anymore, just like Tarson.
And here goes the fourth base. He's stimming. He's trying to run up. He needs to be careful, though, because with all those infestors, there's a few fungal growths the Marines do not want to have thrown down on their heads. And Tarson carefully lifting, and oh, that was a big waste by DIMAGA. It's fun to be able to make infested Terrans to shoot at the orbital command, but as you can see, an orbital command is faster, so he will be able to run away, and this is a lot of energy that should have been saved for fungal growth.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what you're saying there. These infested Terrans are doing nothing. It's just a waste of energy, and they are eventually going to die to these siege tanks. And then, but look at the army composition now by DIMAGA. He's getting so many Banelings, a lot of Banelings. All these infestors are actually almost maxed out in energy, and these Ultralists are almost fully upgraded. But I just don't think he can break Tarson. Tarson has such good defense.
The problem, though, is that all these Marines are in one control group, so they are automatically getting clustered whenever he assigns a move command. He needs to be so careful, because any one of those fungal growths could lock down half his army, and the Banelings would easily be able to roll in. And look at this. Tarson setting up to do a drop on the left side. Tarson not giving up yet, wants to continue to push aggressively. He knows that all these units are on this side of the map because he does have one Viking, and oh, DIMAGA looks like he's going for the big drop. Here comes the counter drop by Tarson. He will be able to take out this hatchery, but the question is, can Tarson keep his key mining base alive?
And I love what DIMAGA's going to do here. He's going to drop Ultralists on the siege tanks, and I'm not sure if the Marines are going to see this or not.
And there's the target fire, and oh, he kills all the Ultralists. There's the fungal growth. There's the fungal growth. Where are the Banelings? Oh, DIMAGA! Oh, huge blunder, leaving all of those behind. Tarson is going to be able to stay alive.
Oh my God, he left them all blind. What are you doing, DIMAGA? Do you not realize you just left a million Banelings? He's like, yeah, I do realize because I'm moving them now. Oh my God. I can't believe Tarson is still in this game.
Tarson did not deserve that win in that battle. The Banelings should have rolled through everything.
Jesus Christ, you trying to deafen me?
I didn't realize I squeaked so hard. But I mean... Excuse me. I mean, he shouldn't have been able to defend that easily.
Oh no, look, these Banelings are trapped up there. They're going to move down.
Oh no, the tanks!
DIMAGA does not like Banelings right now.
Another positional blunder. Tarson managing to slowly work his way forward with amazing control. Still doesn't have a mining fourth base though.
Oh my god, I can't believe Tarson's doing this. So many blunders by DIMAGA right now. And Tarson is going to set siege upon this gold. And that is really nice, Tarson. He needs to put his fourth down. He needs to put that. Thank you for putting that down. He's going to start mining again. But these 3-3 Marines are just doing a lot of heavy damage against us. The tanks are going back. I'm not sure what the decision was to go back, but I think he's happy enough that he's taken away the gold. And now he's actually trying. Oh, look, that's why he's gone back, because these infested Terrans and fungal growth are actually doing a lot of damage to SCVs and mules.
He needs to keep as many of these SCVs alive as possible. He doesn't want to have to try to replenish workers and an army at the same time. And also some scans need to go down to kill off these creep tumors. This hatch is actually running kind of low on minerals. DIMAGA's mined out on his third base, and Tarson again with the miracle defense just setting himself back up again. I think that sort of passivity could be potentially dangerous, and uh-oh, this SCV might be able to get an infestor kill all on his own. That would be so cool. But the infestor, oh no, look there, is going to be throwing down another infested Terran. So very cool play by DIMAGA.
What I don't like from DIMAGA right now, if you look at the 9 o'clock base, look how many drones he has there. He is oversaturated by far. He should be lifting, or not lifting, but transferring. As I say that, he hears me, he does transfer, and that is a better play by him, because they would actually let that for too long. The infested Terran finally goes down, but these medivacs are actually helping out so much for Tarson. They are healing the Marines over and over and over again. They are recyclable Marines. And look at this, these Banelings are ready. I don't know, DIMAGA just doesn't have a huge force. Oh my god, I say that and I turn around and I look, and there are like 8 Ultralists there. Wow.
But there needs to be a higher Baneling count for DIMAGA, and there needs to be Banelings that actually come to the battle instead of hanging out back home. I mean, that's the exact reason why Tarson is still in this game, and it looks like 2 of these medevacs are loaded up for a drop. So Tarson, knowing that the only way he can stay in this game is if he maintains some sort of economic advantage and slowly pulls ahead. Is he making more tanks? Yes, he is adding on more tanks. That is the unit he needs to be building more of. And look at the kill count on these tanks. So many of those are Baneling. And where did that drop go? Here it is, finally advancing to the left. There's the Viking trying to keep tabs on everything. DIMAGA is hatching a bunch of Zerglings right now, but oh, I think DIMAGA may have seen it.
Yeah, DIMAGA has seen it. He's got links there. He are going to come around, put us around. Tarson should be able to pick up and defend this. All the Ultralists are coming as well. Tarson actually, oh my god, he loses Marines. Marines get caught by the links. Brilliant defense again by DIMAGA, holding off. I love the spine crawlers that are put down here, because this is basically DIMAGA's only resource income right now.
And both these players playing very close to 200 APM. Tarson, in this state, is trying to move his army around into a good position, so you can see how much he is spamming right now. And at the same time, huge drop, could potentially be going down at the top, but it did fly over those creep tumors. DIMAGA has seen it. Also, Tarson doing a little bit of attacking here at the left, sees the Ultras, needs to load up, loses focus, was doing a drop on the other side. Oh my goodness, barely saves those Marines at the last second, and it looks like Tarson flying all these medevacs through the center of the map, where DIMAGA can see absolutely everything, and this is so risky. One fungal growth could ruin everything.
And where are these? Where's the infestors? He needs to move in the infestors. Tarson wants to get rid of this gold expansion. Oh my god, there is the fungal
everything, but he is behind the minerals, so it is a lot harder for the Ultras to get in there, but the Banelings roll in, and Tarson loses absolutely all of these units. Another big blunder by Tarson. Should not have gotten that bold and abandoned these tanks, because now he doesn't have any medevacs. He needs to remake all of them.
Yeah, I mean, he split his army in 2 there, and he basically was fighting against the entire army of DIMAGA. Splitting your army in 2 is just, you know, even though he's harassing, that wasn't really a harassment. That was just plain out attacking. And look at all these Marines. Oh my god, how does he reinforce so well? There are so many Marines.
And there are so many tanks. This line extends across the entire map. This orbital command has a pretty decent saturation on these minerals, and he is continuing to mule to have some sort of semblance of an economy. Medevac's getting produced, but look at how low his gas count is.
And look how smart DIMAGA is. Tarson was trying to take this 5th, and this Overlord producing creep on the floor, and basically what it does is the command center cannot land on creep, and the creep will take a while to go away. Very nice play, delaying the expansion here by Tarson.
I mean, really, Tarson suddenly is in a gas-starved position. Generally, in the late game, you don't have that much of an issue with gas. It's largely minerals, but of course, in StarCraft 2, your refineries can deplete, and all the orbital commands are currently just being recycled by Tarson. He just keeps having to move them farther and farther left. There are more Ultralisks being dropped over here on this 5th base, and Tarson is just getting spread a little bit too thin.
Yeah, he is getting spread too thin, and DIMAGA's army is looking extremely beastly right now. And as long as he does, as long as he micros his Ultralisk correctly and they are not in line, there is not an order that they have to walk into the tanks, and he separates them so all of them are doing the damage, he may be able to win this battle. But wow, there were just so many Marines.
And wow, those Ultralisks just burn up so fast when not reinforced. Tarson now trying to run home, but again, without that many medevacs, it's very, very tough to be able to do anything. And here's a Greater Spire on the left side of, or on the 9 o'clock expansion for DIMAGA. Looks like he wants to get some Broodlords to do some final busting in action.
That is actually a very, very smart move, because you were talking about how gas, you need so much gas late on in the game. And Tarson doesn't have it, so he will not be able to switch instantly and produce a million Vikings to deal with them. And also, the tanks are going to be doing, they're going to be hitting these, what are they called? They come out of the Broodlords. No, they come out of the Broodlords.
The Corruptors.
No, what come out of the Broodlords?
Oh, Broodlings. There we go.
Broodlings, sorry, it crossed my mind. My mind was blank. So what the tanks are going to be hitting the Broodlings, and they're going to be in front of the Marines. So the tanks are actually going to do splash damage and self-damage to the Marines.
And it looks like he was able to pick off an Overlord that had an Ultralisk in it. This other Overlord has flown away, and DIMAGA needs to be very careful not to forget that. That is another classic mistake that many players have done, which is to load up a handful of units into small drops, and then they completely forget about them for the remainder of the game. DIMAGA, look at this, planting Spine Crawlers very far forward on the map, advancing with Creep Tumors on all sides, and now finally adding on some of those Broodlords. Going to be a little bit tough to hit these expansions. The Marines can get up there in time, but are there any Vikings being made? No, just more and more and more medevacs, because he did need to make so many more medevacs after losing all of them in the center of the map.
I'm not too sure why he's actually researching Burrow right now, because, I mean, even if he does use Burrowed Infestors, there are sensor towers all over the map.
Yeah, it could be a big, big difficulty to do any harassment at this point, because, I mean, even these Ultralisks that are getting dropped, look at these Marines just darting right up, pulling the Ultralisk back out, and oh, this Ultralisk could do a lot of damage. Look at that great target firing by DIMAGA, taking out all these SCVs. That splash damage is so huge. That is crippling for Tarson. That is one Ultralisk that has killed 13 SCVs. Very nice play, and Tarson actually going to the income tab has 20 workers. That's nothing.
That is not enough to play late game, and these Broodlords are coming in. It looks like DIMAGA, after that attack, wants to finish the game because he knows Tarson will have to build more SCVs because he took out so many. And here we go. He's actually taking, well, he's sitting, camping on this gold expo, and Tarson's actually going to have to come to him because DIMAGA is the one with the resources.
And this is very, very scary right now. Tarson needs to get these Marines in here and kill off these Broodlords, and there come the Broodlings down.
Look at
the tanks
they said,
are doing so much damage.
God.
And there's the fungal growth. He needs to start picking off these Broodlords from above, but the tanks, again, just do so much damage to their own Marines. Another fungal growth, and all the Marines are down.
And this isn't even the core of DIMAGA's army. He has like 10 Ultralisks sitting there waiting for this. Oh my god, that was superb play, and as I predicted, that's what the Broodlords were used for, because these tanks just basically slaughtered their own army.
And DIMAGA, oh my god, he is so prepared. Look at that huge Ultralisk count, a lot of Infestors as well. And if he can replenish a good amount of Zerglings into this mix, he will be able to clean everything up. Or he could just continue to make Broodlords, because it's a largely only tank army out for Tarson. Tarson looks like he realizes that more Broodlords would be a huge problem to deal with, and it's just going to go ahead and start pushing through the center of the map.
I really hate the way that Tarson's sieging up his tanks. He is sieging up in a line, and all these Ultralisks are just going to do so much splash damage.
Oh my god,
he's coming in.
The tanks are doing a ton of damage. There are just no Marines left anywhere. Marines are trying to come back in, but the Ultralisks are annihilating these tank forces. DIMAGA might be able to end the game right here and be our third place winner. The Ultralisks do end up cleaning up all the tanks, and there's nothing left for Tarson.
Good game.
And there's the good game. DIMAGA is your third place winner.
And he is extremely happy. I just saw that face. He is loving taking third place right now. Congratulations to DIMAGA, and what a great game to end the series on.
DIMAGA, known for being a very aggressive player, for doing a lot of funky all-ins, showing why he was such a well-known StarCraft 1 player, having the amazing, amazing late game play. He is our third place winner at the Intel Extreme Masters. global challenge here in Cologne. Amazing play in both of our game 4s.
I mean, both of our game 4s, both were as long as each other, I think, as well. And the only one that didn't appreciate that was my vocal cords, because they are slowly dying. But congratulations to both players. Superb feat in this tournament. 16 players, best players in the world right now, around Europe and America. Great players. Now we're actually going to go over to the players on stage for a post-game interview.
Absolutely incredible. Overcomes the biggest team to win the Intel Extreme Mountain.
Wow, this was a great game, especially the last one, a nice comeback. But let's talk about all the games. I mean, we have some time. It's a 1-2-3, but still we had some impressive games. Can you tell us a little bit about all the maps, like starting with the first map and so on?
First map, you know, there are in steps of war, there are close locations, so I was be able to, you know, attack DIMAGA very soon, and he was late in his banelings, I guess, so I will be able to take this game 1-0. Then second game, I make some major mistakes. You know, this combo with Ghost totally don't work versus Muslings plus banelings, so he totally beat me there, and you know, I want to surprise him, but I didn't. So, yeah. Third map. Oh, I don't remember even what was third map. Oh, really, I don't remember. I'm, you know, so excited. But I can tell about last one. I really want to thank DIMAGA, because you know we just go regame, and he can win because I just dissed. And yeah, the last game was pretty epic. He played really, really well. His macro was really good. So yeah, I thought I can come back, but you know, Bloodlords are too imba, man.
Also imbalance for the third player. Großen Applaus bitte schon mal für Tarson. Wow, DIMAGA. The third place is really, really good for a start. You're the best third player in Europe, one of the best in the world, playing a top Terran player with Tarson. What do you think about the maps? I mean, Tarson already told us his vision about the games. What do you think about first map, second, and so on?
First map, I have like a little bit mistake, and it's really hard to play like against Tarson, because he's a really aggressive player, especially in steps of war. It's so close. He make like few Marines, few Helions. You must to pump links, because if you not pump, you're dead. So I pump links and then come to Banshee. I don't. He was really surprised me, and these two Banshees just kill me. Yeah. And other games was not bad, I think. Yeah, especially two last was draw player, you know. It's kinda not really good, but yeah, regame is like fair play, I think.
Yeah, you guys really, really fair players, and this is really your applause. Wow. In the last map, after the regame, the really last map, I had the feeling there was like Tarson could come back, like doing a real comeback. Were you really nervous then? Like, oh my gosh, he's killing my whole army. What's happening? I have like 3 expansions and all this stuff.
Yeah, but the last battle I won, so I was, I'm favorite, you know. So, but when I see like replays, you know, it was really close. So, regame, it's okay.
That's great. Well, man, you did the third place. You did a great tournament overall. What are your impressions about all these people, about your fans? You have many fans in Germany. Do you like this atmosphere here in Germany and the whole tournament into Extreme Masters?
Yeah, sure, it's just awesome. I want to thank to all my fans, big thanks, especially these guys. Thank you, guys.
But Tarson, I have read all the comments in the internet from Team Liquid, all the German sites. They said you're such a nice guy, like DIMAGA. They love you both. And yeah, you did some great games. What are your impressions about these guys, the German community, the people who really love and like you?
I really love their support, it's really awesome. You know, I feel really, really great. You know, if I can see someone is cheering for me and so on. So it's really great. Thanks, man. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. Well, guys, it was really nice to have had some interviews with you guys. You're really, really nice, and well, it was a lot of fun. I wish you best of luck for the future, for all the next tournaments. Großen Applaus bitte nochmal für Tarson und auch DIMAGA.